A Board of Adjustment to order. Rosalie, if you'd please do the roll call.
Chairman Loper,
Present.
Vice Chairperson, Member Baugh,
Present.
Member Clapp,
Here.
Member Ward,
Present.
Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and go with the announcements. This meeting has been noticed in accordance with the open meeting law of ARS 38-431. Agendas are available within 24 hours of each meeting in the Maricopa County Planning and Development Office, and are also available on the Planning and Development website 1 week prior to the hearing at www.maricopa.gov/planning. With respect to the hearing process, cases will be considered in the order they appear on the agenda unless otherwise agreed to by the board. For each case, the applicant will be given a set amount of time to present their testimony. Any witness wishing to give testimony in a particular case shall notify the board of such interest. This shall be done by filling out a speaker's card for in-person attendance. And it looks just like this, and it's available at the podium. If you wish to speak and you're here, fill one out, hand it to one of the staff persons that are here. Or if you're online, register to desire to comment on the noticed agenda. Also, at the appropriate time for each case, the chair will ask those attending in person and online who wish to speak to a case to raise their hand by clicking on that icon on the webinar screen. Staff will provide the chair with the names of persons who have registered and noted a desire to comment, and those registered participants who have raised their hand. The chair will call on each named participant one at a time. Such testimony shall be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. However, the actual amount of time allowed for testimony shall be at the discretion of the board chair. The chair will conduct the hybrid in-person and virtual public hearing according to the bylaws and according to the rules established by the chair regarding public comment. Votes will be done by roll call vote only, and the chair will verbally identify the specific members responsible for all motions and seconds. Move on for the approval of the minutes for September 18, 2025. Have all the board members that were in attendance had an opportunity to review them? And if so, are there any comments or changes? Seeing none, those are considered approved. We'll move on to approval of the Maricopa County Board of Adjustment bylaws. All the board members had an opportunity to review those proposed changes. And if so, we don't need to take an action on that. They're considered approved like the minutes, or do we need to take action?
We
Need a
would like
vote?
a vote.
All right, I will entertain a motion for approval of the changes to the Board of Adjustment bylaws as presented by staff.
I move to approve the bylaws as presented.
We have a motion by member Baugh. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by member Clapp. Rosalie, when you get an opportunity.
Member Baugh,
Aye.
Member Clapp,
Yes.
Member Ward,
Yes.
Chairman Loper.
Yes.
Chairman, that's a motion for an approval by a vote of 4-0.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the continuance agenda. We have one item, BA 250048. Darren or Nick?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is the Oponsky Luca Property District 3 variance request in regard to a front setback. However, they have requested, or they are wishing to continue indefinitely. There's no action necessary by the board.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the regular agenda. Item 2 of the regular, which is first item on the regular agenda, BA 250049, the Veldhusen property, probably screwed that up, in District 4. Turn that over to you, Paula.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2 for the Velhusen residence is a request for 2 variances in the R16 RUPD zoning district. The request is for a proposed rear yard setback of 6 feet where 15 feet is a minimum permitted, and a lot coverage of 52% where 45% is the maximum permitted in the R16 RUPD zoning district. The subject site is a rectangular shaped parcel currently developed with a 2,245 square foot single family residence. The property complies with the R16 RUPD zoning district development standards that were approved under zoning case C 2001-83 as part of the Rancho Cabrillo Parcel B subdivision. The developer of the subdivision built large homes on a relatively small lots without anticipation of additional detached or attached structures. The applicant is requesting the variance in order to facilitate the development of a 560 square foot covered patio attached to the existing home. The proposed patio cannot be developed within the required 15-foot setback or meet the maximum allowed lot coverage as it exceeds by 7%. If the proposed attached patio was to be detached, it would be able to meet the required 3-foot property line requirement, but it would occupy more than 30% of the required yard. By 25%, any variance would still be needed. If the variance is granted, it would allow the property owner to develop the attached patio with a 6-foot setback and a total lot coverage of 52%. But if the variance is denied, the applicant would have to redesign the location and size of the attached patio to be located within the building envelope and to meet the maximum allowed coverage. At this time, I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions of staff? I do have one, but actually this is for Max, and I should have brought this up prior to. I was the original developer or part of the development team of Rancho Cabrillo. That's been 20 years. And I have no current or involvement in it since that time. I don't have a conflict of interest, would I? No. No, definitely not. I just want to disclose that I did. Okay. No other questions of staff at this time? All right, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Is the applicant or applicant's representative in attendance in the audience? Not seeing that. Do we have them online?
Yeah, Chairman, I have Angel Cardio that was listed as being able to speak on this. I've unmuted them. Need to unmute on their side. I also show Brett Veldhuizen. I can enable his mic as well. Hopefully one of them is able to shows.
Yes,
I believe.
are you
Yep.
able to hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
So I'll just speak a little bit. I think while Angel's adjusting his mic, but
If
I
you
am
could-
the.
If you could give your name, please, for the record.
Yes, my name is Brett Lee Veldhuizen, and I am the homeowner.
Go ahead.
Yes, so just trying to go through this process of getting the patio built. Trying to make sure that I'm maintaining, all the right proper channels to make sure that we're doing it in accordance. I know I paid for the permits, and then also paid for the pre-hearing just to make sure that if this was something that could be looked at so that we could possibly move forward with the build. That's kind of what we're looking to do. And then also, just checking some of the local neighbors and stuff, seeing that there have already been variances that have been approved based on higher percentages. And then also, there's been several other houses that have exceeded some of them, and I'm not sure if some of them have been approved or not. So I was just hoping to get this approved, not only to be able to utilize some of the outdoor stuff, but it would add efficiency to the cooling based off the heat that hits the house and radiates on that side, and also provides shade for my pet dog that, as he's in and outside during the summertime, has a doggy door, but it also provides more shade as well. So just looking at as far as the efficiency is electric, and, being able to spend a little more time and also with my children. So that's kind of what we're looking to do. And I do not have just some things to also mention. My side yards do meet the specs requirements for the distance. But as far as the rear setback, I do have a retention that is behind me. So I do not have any homes directly behind me. The closest house on the opposite side of the retention is 130 feet. And that retention is also designed for drainage that has two dry wells that are within 60 feet of the property line on each side. And the community also in that retention has planted trees that go along the entire back wall of each side. So visibility is, very minute to be able to see it. And also trying to stick within those 8 feet requirements as far as height, which I thought I seen in the specs as far as a 3-foot setback on some of those minimum heights of the patio.
All right, is that, oh, go ahead,
Go ahead.
sorry. No, go
Uh,
ahead.
Yes, and during this process as well, trying to get this build going when it very first started months ago, as far as the patio and the construction stuff that has already been completed, as far as the slab and putting 24-inch centers on rebar and 24 by 24 thick reinforced footings. Just to give you a little bit about my background too, I am a general project superintendent, and I've worked on most of the commercial side of the infrastructure in Arizona, and I've had the opportunity to work with most of Phoenix, Tempe, Surprise, Peoria, all over, whether it's water treatments or education side or healthcare. I've been part of it, or heavy highway. So meeting the specs and the requirements is a big thing for me. So I appreciate any help that the board can help me to get this move forward so that we can continue our build.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any questions by any of the board members of the applicant, the homeowner?
Yes. Did I hear
Go
him
ahead.
say that some footings have been, did I hear him say some footings have been completed or rebar installed, or is that? I
Yes, sir.
misunderstanding?
That's correct. So when I was initially given the permits saying that I could go, my understanding was that I could start building it. And it wasn't till after we got a later email from the development side saying that they were worried about some concerns of drainage, which that's kind of where we stopped, and I didn't want to go any further with the build, but I had also had concrete scheduled. I've already had rebar scheduled. Everything was scheduled. I had embeds installed. And I do have photographs and pictures of everything just to, verify that it was installed properly. I know it's been a long time too, since I've done the residential work, from where you used to go down and draw a picture on a napkin and turn it in and they would approve it. So, I actually hired Angel, that is also online, as my residential contractor to design this and help me get this approved. So on his end.
Mr. Gerard, question. I heard something. I want to make sure it's accurate. Was this permitted? I thought I heard him say he got the permit, so he thought he could start the work.
I do not know.
I did not.
Yes,
see
I
any-
was issued an email when I paid for the permits and said that I received everything. And the last one was the planning and zoning that did not sign off on those permits. And that's where I kind of came to a stop with it. And I do have the emails and the invoices for these transactions as well.
So, Mr. Chair, Member Ball, there are initial fees that a person pays, and then there are the final permit fees that someone pays when they're contacted to say your permit is ready for issuance and you call for the inspections. But in order to get to that point, you have to have your permit submitted, initial fees paid. During the plan review, there's going to be a zoning clearance, a drainage clearance, and a building safety clearance. Unless you have those 3 sign-offs, you will not be contacted for a permit to be issued.
Okay, so it sounds like he applied,
Yes.
paid a fee to apply. Reviews were pending, but no permits were issued.
I don't know if the reviews are pending or if they've been completed and they
Oh,
just
yeah.
haven't signed off yet, but the permit would not have been issued at that point.
And it sounds like this is for the slab part of it. You could do a concrete slab.
yeah.
So,
But I assume the plans that were submitted showed the structure and the slab.
Correct. And yes, I have, after the slab, I pretty much had stopped. So, no further part of the build has been complete, just been on hold waiting for this hearing.
any further questions of the applicant? Did Mr. Cardile, did you also want to speak? This is a public hearing. Is there anyone else online or in attendance that wishes to speak on this matter?
I don't think we're able to get his.
No one else?
His
All right, I'm going to go
audio,
ahead and
yeah.
close the public hearing. Turn it back to the board for discussion and or motion. It is in District 4, but I'm always appreciative if someone else would make the motion. As pointed out, there is no property to the rear or homeowner that could provide an opinion whether in favor or opposed. We didn't receive anything, Paula, from any neighbors in the area.
No, no opposition was received.
I personally don't have an issue with the patio cover. I'm always in favor of patio covers or protection for pets, for children, not so much, but I like to protect the pets, give them a little shade. With that, I'll turn it over to other board members for comment and or on a motion on my behalf.
I'll be happy to make a motion.
Absolutely.
I move to approve BA 250049.
We have a motion for approval by Member Clapp. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Ward. Rosalie?
Member Ba?
No.
Member Clapp?
Yes.
Member Ward?
Yes.
Chairman Loper?
Yes.
Chairman, we have a motion for an approval by a vote of 3-1.
Congratulations and good luck securing your permit and with your construction. Move on to the next item, item number 3, BA 250057, the Batista property in District 3. And this one is being done by Daniel.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the board. Case BA 250057, the Batista property in District 3 is a request for deviations from, two requests from deviations for hillside standards. The 1.2 acre property is located at Circle Mountain Road and 10th Street in the New River area. The request is for an allowance of hillside disturbance outside the principal building envelope for construction of a primary residence and proposed septic system outside the building envelope in an area of the lot with hillside slopes present. The applicant has demonstrated that a peculiar condition prevents reasonable development of the parcel due to the presence of hillside slopes and a significant wash that bisects the property, severely limiting the developable area of the lot. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Daniel. Good overview. Are there any questions of Daniel at this point by any of the board members? I do have one because I believe in the time I've been here, which is over a decade, item 2. So most sewage disposal systems are that I've seen are irrespective of the building envelope, the drainage field, the backup system. They're located wherever they can be on the lot. I didn't know that they were subject to setbacks. Could you kind of explain that?
That's right, Chairman Loper. The setback wouldn't apply if there weren't any hillside slopes present on the property.
Okay, so it's just because it's hillside.
That's right, Chairman.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, just to clarify, there are separate environmental regulations that have setback requirements from like a well, a water
Right.
feature, but those aren't in
Separation.
the zoning ordinance. In the zoning ordinance, the only time we address it at this point is in hillside.
In hillside. All right, thank you for that clarification. Any other questions of staff? All right, go ahead and open the public hearing. Is the applicant or applicant's representative in attendance? Do we have them online, Nadia? Or
Chairman, I have Melanie Batista online. It looks like she may be connected with phone, but it's muted on her side. She is enabled on my, there you go. Is that, well, looks like
Hello,
it's
can you
still
guys hear
not.
me yet?
There you go. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I had unmuted my phone, but still wasn't picking up. All right, thank you, Daniel, and members of the board. Again, I'm Melanie Batista. I'm here with my husband, Michael Batista. And just to get you up to date with us, we submitted for this permit a while ago. We received our round 1 review comments. After that, we've met with multiple groups from the county to understand the comments and work through those. We hired a professional civil engineer to do a whole workup for the site. We've hired a professional engineer for the septic testing and design. And we've prepared all of the changes to the drawings as requested. And so at this point, we're just waiting on this variance. Do you have the slides that I had prepared in the presentation? Thank you so much. Just basically the starting conditions. This is a rural 43 zoning area. So this represents the standard setbacks that we have. Next slide, please. This property does include a 30-foot easement on the western edge of the property, so that already squeezes our building envelope, which is that area in the middle. Next, please. Then, as Daniel mentioned, the significant wash that cuts through the entire property, basically creating a west section of the property and an east section of the property. With the setbacks and the wash, the east section is basically non-buildable. You could not fit a primary residence in there. So we're just working with what we have on the west section. Next, please. Additionally, with that wash, there's a 50-foot setback for the septic system. As was discussed, that there are these additional setbacks for the septic. So that further pushes where we can put the septic system. Next, please. Another element, as you can see with these green lines, that represents the topography of the site. As a hillside site, another consideration is the slope. Next slide, please. So how we can address these peculiar conditions. We have designed the residence shown there in the white boxes within that buildable area. It is also working with the natural contours of the land, which will reduce the amount of grading that's needed and cutting into the hillside slopes. And as you can see, the structures, the residence and the attached garage are entirely within the established setbacks and the buildable area. And this also does allow the driveway to be the shortest distance possible to the road, which is another requirement. Next slide, please. For the septic system, you can see it just above and to the right of the house. We are requesting placing it within the established setback area. It would be outside of the wash, so still 50 feet away from the wash. It would still be 5 feet off of the property line, which is another standard allowed setback. And it would be 10 feet away from the house, which is also required. This would just be allowing some, below ground disturbance within that outside of the buildable area for the septic. That placement there is the only place we could find that it would work with gravity to work with the natural flows and fit in the area. Next, please. The relief that we are looking for specifically for this variance is to, again, allow placement of the septic system beyond the building envelope, and also for construction considerations to modify the setbacks to accommodate temporary disturbance and hillside grading and drainage activities. Drainage will be an important part of this project, and when you build a house or structure, it takes space for equipment and workers to move around it and to install drainage around the property if needed. So we're looking to reduce the front setback from 40 feet to 30 feet and reduce the side setbacks from 30 feet to 20 feet. There would be no change requested for the rear setback, and there would be no change requested for the easement. Next. And upholding the intent and purpose of the zoning ordinance, the proposed design as we have it, it keeps the building tucked in close to the established setbacks, and it maintains the character, identity, and image of the hillside area, which is a whole reason why we wanted this property. We appreciate the natural beauty and want to work with that. It keeps a buffer between the structure and the site's natural drainage conveyance, and it consolidates site disturbance and minimizes scarring from hillside construction. Last slide, please. Preventing negative impacts is another important area, and we believe that this proposed solution will preserve the intent. The design will not impact the neighboring views. The views are really to the north and to the east, and so the homes to the north and east of this property, they already are in front of us. They have great unobstructed views, and the properties on the other side are all elevated above our property, so we will not be affecting them. And what we have proposed is consistent with existing development on surrounding properties where there's development disturbance very close to the property lines. And any area that is disturbed during construction can be reestablished with the natural grasses, shrubs, trees, and we will definitely protect erosion. And we would like it all to be naturally revegetated, so it looks like nothing ever touched it. Final note there at the bottom of that map, you can see property number 7 is currently under construction. We've had multiple conversations with the neighbors that are building there, and the Board of Adjustment recently approved a variance for them to build their septic system outside of the building envelope and additional 4,300 square feet of hillside disturbance for their lot because they ran into the same challenges that we found. So with that, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Batista. I have to say, that is one of the best presentations that this board has received. We get a lot of presentations over the years, architects, planners, zoning attorneys, engineers, and that was an outstanding presentation. So well done. Are there any questions
Thank
by any of the
you.
board members? You're very welcome. Are there any questions by any of the board members of the applicant? Seeing none, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak on this item, either in attendance or online?
Not seeing anybody else online.
All right, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and turn it over to the board for discussion and or a motion. This is in District 3. We do not have a representative from District 3, so it's wide open for anyone. Don't everybody chomp at the bit. But is there anyone who wants to? Yes, go right ahead, Member Clapp.
Yeah, the applicant mentioned some setbacks, but that's not part of the variance request.
Member Clapp, Chairman, I did not find that request in the application itself. The house does meet the required setbacks of 41 feet from, or at least a minimum of 40 feet from the edge of the easement.
So we're only dealing with the hillside disturbance and septic system. Okay,
That's right.
okay. Thank you.
I will ask the applicant, Mrs. Batista, we want to clarify, you are not seeking any kind of setback variances for the home or other building on the property, correct? Because if you look at the slide that's up, it does talk about modifications to the yard.
Yes, so in the application that we submitted, we did request those setbacks to be changed from 40 to 30 and from 30 to 20. We are anticipating that this will be for not for vertical improvements, so not adding shade structures or other elements like that, but drainage. Whether, I don't know exactly how the finished product will be for the drainage, but really just flat improvements as well as that temporary disturbance.
Okay.
But yes, that is there.
So I have to apologize. This wasn't advertised to include those requests. So it looks like, hold on a moment, but it looks like we may need to re-advertise this to include those. Staff's discussing it right now.
It's not on the application page. If it is discussed in the supplemental questionnaire, we probably need to have a revised application. If she wants other than the hillside disturbance outside the principal building envelope, then we need to continue this so we can incorporate that into the staff report for your consideration.
Did you catch that, Mrs. Batista?
Yes, I hear that. It was in the 2-page application, but the most important thing to us, because we're just kind of spending money every day that we're sitting and waiting, is to keep going forward. So if we need to remove that from this and just have that temporary disturbance, we would not want to do a continuance.
So there's two options here. We can take action on the request before us, and then you could apply for the additional variances, but it would be another application fee, and it'd be a separate hearing in front of this board, which would be a month or 2 or 3 down the line, be another presentation by you. No guarantee by the board on their action at that time. Or we could continue this for a month. You could modify the existing application to include those setbacks. You'd be back before us in November, roughly a month from now. Darren and Daniel are nodding their heads yes, that likely that would happen.
We would like to proceed with what is before the board at this point.
Today? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, then back to the board for consideration of the 2 requests before us today, which both relate to the hillside disturbance. Again, board members, discussion and/or a motion. I think given the topographic constraints of the property, as well as the front setback and the wash and the setback to septic, doesn't leave them a lot of buildable area. Member Clapp.
Okay, the staff report says that the hillside slopes do create a peculiar condition, and installation of the septic system has demonstrated undue hardship, as well as the general purpose of the zoning ordinance is preserved by this request. So I move to approve BA 250057.
We have a motion to approve by Member Clapp. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Baugh. Rosalie?
Member Baugh,
Aye.
Member Clapp,
Yes.
Member Ward,
Yes.
Chairman Loper.
Yes.
Chairman, we have a motion for an approval by a vote of 4-0.
Congratulations, and we may see you in a month or 2 or 3.
And Mr. Chairman, for the record, there is mention on the supplemental questionnaire in arguing for the variance. It does speak to requested variance for 20 and 30 feet, but that is not listed on the application description on the cover. We'll be glad to meet with her and get a revised application specific to those 2 items.
Okay. Hopefully you caught that, Mrs. Batista. We may again be seeing you in a month or 2 or 3. She brought up something that in the proposed amendment bylaws, I didn't catch, but I think there was a reason it wasn't. There was a time when the Board of Adjustment used to make recommendations on variances. I know you can't do that anymore, but there was kind of even a consent agenda where if things were considered to meet criteria, they were almost a de facto approval. I wish we could go back to those days. This would have been one of those. I know we can't, but I liked that. This would have been a one. Moving on, item number 5, BA 250059, the Reese property in District. Oh wait, I passed one. I apologize. Item number 4, BA 250058, the JJ Investment Properties LLC property in District 5. Daniel?
Thank you, Chairman and members of the board. Case BA 250058, JJ Investments Property LLC in District 5 is a request for a reduction of the western interior side setback from 30 feet to 20 feet. The 2.5 acre property is located at 103rd Avenue and Sheridan Street in the Avondale area. The request seeks to accommodate an existing primary residence's location, setback 20 feet from the western property line. The residence appears in historic aerial photography as early as 1975 in its current location. The request seeks to memorialize the residence's existing location for future permitting for a proposed assisted living facility. The variance allows the applicant to receive zoning clearance for future permitting, which would not be approved without this variance. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Are there any questions of Daniel or other staff at this time by any of the board members? All right, seeing none, I'll open the public hearing. Is the applicant or applicant representative, which is Brenda Lozano, in attendance? Do we have anyone online?
There is a Karina Lozano online. David, were you able to reach out to her?
Chairman, I have unmuted her. I chatted with her earlier, but she didn't respond. So hopefully she's able to get her. Yep, there you go.
If you could
Hi.
provide your name for the record and go forward with your presentation.
Yes, hi, good morning, Chair and members of the board. My name is Karina Lozano. I'm representing Brenda Lozano, excuse me, and I believe Brenda has submitted her written statement for the record. The request is to allow the establishment of Royal Family Care, LLC, a small family-style assisted living home that will maintain the residential character, comply with our regulations, and enhance the property's upkeep. We appreciate the staff's presentation and respectfully ask for your approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions of the applicant by any of the board members? All right, this is a public hearing. Does anyone else wish to speak on this item? No one in attendance? Anyone online?
Not seeing anybody else online.
No one else online? All right, go ahead and close the public hearing. Turn it over to the board. Fern, this is in District 5. This is your district. Defer to you for a motion. As mentioned, this was constructed when again? 1975?
1975.
Wow.
Yep, that was, I've got my motion ready to go. I moved.
Go
that we
right
approve.
ahead. Motion, we have motion for
motion to
approval by
approve.
member Ward. Is there a second?
Yes.
Second.
We have a second by member Baugh. Rosalie?
Member Baugh,
Yes.
Member Clapp,
Yes.
Member Ward,
Yes.
Chairman Loper.
Yes.
Chairman, we have a motion for an approval by a vote of 4-0.
Congratulations to the applicant and best of luck going forward. Move on to our final item on the agenda, BA 250059, the Reese property in District 3. Nick?
Thank you, Chairman Loper, members of the board. So case BA 250059 is a request for 5 variances for the Reese property located in Clearwater Hills, where the owner proposes to build a single-family residence. Natural hillside slopes encumber the entire property, Due in part to a previous residence that has since been demolished, most of the south half of the property features existing hillside disturbance. Meanwhile, the north half is severely encumbered by steep slopes that make development there virtually impossible without effectively blasting away the hillside. So to minimize further disturbance as well as to reduce the driveway slope, a residence would need to be built toward the southeast corner of the principal building envelope. I will note that the single-family residence as planned would be, although adjacent to the setback lines, would be entirely within the building envelope, so no setback variances are being requested. Now, though the applicant seeks to minimize additional disturbance, he is proposing less than 1,000 square feet of new disturbance, some of which would take place outside the building envelope. The MCZO prohibits hillside disturbance outside the building envelope except for driveway and utility connections, so a variance would be necessary to permit this. The site plan shows over 15,000 square feet of disturbance outside the building envelope. Most of this is existing legally non-conforming disturbance, but since some additional disturbance is being proposed, staff believes it would be appropriate for any approved variance to memorialize the total hillside disturbance, existing and proposed, outside the building envelope. A second variance would permit portions of a sewage disposal system outside the building envelope. According to the applicant, locating the leach field and drip lines for the septic system partially in the front setback would place them in the best percolation area based on a soils analysis of the site. A third variance would allow some structures outside the building envelope where prohibited in hillside areas. These include a series of new retaining walls that would extend partially into the south side yard. These would be necessary to maximize drainage performance, minimize erosion, and divert water away from neighboring properties. The applicant also wishes to build a swimming pool together with pool barrier screening and related mechanical equipment in the south side and rear setback areas. And finally, a fourth and a fifth variance would allow the applicant to build an uncovered outdoor stairway that would project 12 feet into the required rear yard, where 6 feet is the maximum allowed per MCZO, as well as roof eaves that would project up to 5 feet into required setbacks, where 2 feet is the maximum allowed by the MCZO. If the board finds that the applicant has satisfied the statutory test and has stated its findings on the record, the grant of this variance will memorialize items A through E as outlined in the staff report. At this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Nick. Great overview of the request. Are there any questions of staff at this time by any of the board members? All right, seeing none, go ahead and open the public hearing. I have a speaker request card by Mr. Eric Peterson as the applicant representative. Do you want to come on up and give your name for the record and go forward with your presentation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for hearing this today. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm with PHX Architecture, the architect on this project. And I'm here representing Caleb Reese, who is the owner of this property. We have put together just a little slideshow just to kind of make it super clear of the requests that we're asking for. The first one, so the five that he went through, really clear. One being an egress stair, two being the septic system, three is hillside disturbance outside of the setbacks, four are structures, and five is a roof overhang. So if you go to the next slide. So number one is the site stair in setback. It's allowed 6 foot into a setback. The blue area shows the variance request, which is an additional 5 foot 9 inches. It's all underground and it is within the existing footprint of the previous home. So we tried to locate the new home within that same square footages so that there's a really light outline dashed in that shows where the original home used to be. And so we don't feel like this is encumbrance to any other lot and just is completely invisible. And that's why we're asking for that variance. Number two, next slide. This talks about the septic field. Currently, the septic field, if you could see the dotted red line on the lower part, it's actually off the property onto the neighbor's property. So we're abandoning that, and the only place that we could put it is on the north side of the driveway. And you could see the purple shows that if we continued that septic field, it would go way up the hillside and disturb more hillside that we don't want to disturb. So it just puts a little bit of it in the front yard setback. There's no other property in that area. That's all hillside that goes up to the north on this page. So we don't feel that's hindering any other lot, and we don't want to add more disturbed area. The next one, this one, so if you see in the red, that's currently, so this one's talking about hillside disturbance and setbacks for grading. There is none allowed outside of the setback. So everything that's currently in red on this is already there, already been disturbed. And that's about 10,000 square feet. The additional purple that we're asking for is only to add a couple of retaining walls that I'll talk about in the next variance request, and on the north side of the property to get some grading done to divert the water coming down the mountain around the existing retaining walls that are there, just to help the drainage situation. So there's only about 2,000 square foot of additional regrading that we're asking for here, just to fix some of the problems that already exist. Next slide. So as I was referring to in the previous one, there is a very long existing retaining wall on this property. When we had our initial meeting with the HOA, he had requested that we actually go ahead and leave those retaining walls in place. He felt like it'd be more damaging to the whole neighborhood if we were to go in and remove the retaining walls. But he did say that they were very long and plain, and he would like us to break through those in certain areas. One, to help with the visual look of that, and two, there are exposed footings that have happened through erosion that the additional retaining walls that we'd add, sort of to add some interest to that wall, would help that situation. So to their request, we ended up leaving the existing walls and adding in those green areas some new walls that just pop out and give some interest to that very plain linear wall. And then the last one, on the last slide. So the red shows where the existing house is. We tried to keep the new house pretty much in the same location so that everybody who was used to seeing a house there, nothing new was happening. When we presented our plan to the HOA Design Review Board, we met the compliance with the 2-foot overhang. They had asked us in the front to, if we could extend that out 3 more feet to get a 5-foot overhang. They thought that was a better look for them. And in the section, you can see we're way under our height limits. And we believe that because of the height of this hill, this home on the hill, that anyone from any of the lots, all of the lots are down below in this neighborhood, that looking up at this, you would not see that difference between the 2-foot that's allowed and the additional 3-foot that we're asking for. So again, we think it's helpful. HOA asked for us to do it just to help with some screening of the tall glass that we have there, and we don't think it's a hindrance to any other of the neighboring properties. So those are the 5, and happy to answer any questions. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Very descriptive. Another good, really good presentation and overview. Are there any questions of the applicant by any of the board members? Member Clapp.
You said it was a design review board that asked you to extend the eaves to 5 feet?
Yes, it is. We have approval from the HOA, and we have grading and drainage approval already. We've submitted this for permits, and we have first review already completed.
I just want to make sure I heard that right. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions by any of the board members? All right, hang tight. We may have more questions as this goes on. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to speak? Mr. Reese, did you want to say anything?
I'm okay for now, but I can answer questions if need be.
Okay, thank you. Thank you again. Do we have anyone online who wishes to speak?
Nobody else online.
Thank you, Nadia. Go ahead and close the public hearing. Turn this over to the board for discussion and/or a motion. This is in District 3. Again, we do not have a representative for District 3 in attendance today, but I'd be happy to have someone else make a motion in whole or in part.
Chair.
Mr. Baugh.
One of the things I learned pretty early in law school and in my career was how to identify a unique circumstance. And I think we have that box checked pretty easily on this.
Yeah, I agree.
Between the slope of the property, the shape of the lot, the topography, the narrow driveway. But perhaps the greatest site circumstances, I can only imagine how difficult it would be to obtain a design review approval from the folks in this particular area as opposed to others. And so I think we can see how this meets the standards of the variance test, and I'm happy to make a motion.
Right ahead.
I move to approve as recommended by the staff report.
We have a motion for approval by member Baugh. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by member Clapp. Rosalie?
Member Baugh,
Yes.
Member Clapp,
Yes.
Member Ward,
Yes.
Chairman Loper.
Yes.
Chairman, we have a motion for an approval by a vote of 4-0.
Congratulations. Good luck with your home. It looks like it's going to be beautiful. We'd ask for an invitation, but we'd be violating open meeting laws.
Thank you very much.
That's the last item on the agenda. Is there anything?
That is, after this meeting, we'll send you the final version of the revised bylaws. I don't believe we have anything else.
All right. Thank you very much. We are adjourned. Thank you to MCSO Protective Services. As always, we are very appreciative of your work.
I love a fast meeting.